welcome back. I hope you're enjoying your soup. Now, Dragons, now that all your investments go down the pan, you've got to get used to eating cheaply. How is it?
It's not really for me, Gordon.
Oh, for God's sake.
I need some Tabasco in this.
Do you think that the government can do things to resolve the job shortage, given unemployment's rising?
Absolutely. I think they can do that. I think the key issue right now is I think we need to stimulate the economy because we are heading straight into a recession. And I think if you think we've got problems now, imagine what it's going to be like in the next 6, 12, 18 months' time. So I think the government has a responsibility of, A, reducing interest rates to stimulate business, stimulate the economy and protect the jobs that we do have, because I do think it will get worse.
How bad do you think it will?
無国籍ファーストフードのお店をしたいと思っています。
それは一体どんなもんなんですか?
The Japanese one was a little bit more like sort of Sergeant Major, you know, I'm the investor and you will do as I say. Whereas I think we're a little bit more, tell us a bit about your idea.
I think, you know, the thing that I find difficult to accept is the sheer extreme of the situation. You know, we seem to, as an economy, we're so much in that boom or bust cycle. You know, why can't it just be a bit more stable? You know, we're either got so much liquidity or we've got none. You know, I just think markets hate uncertainty. They hate the sort of volatility. You know, when I got up this morning, I turned the screen on and saw RBS share price shoot up 40%. I nearly fell off the table.
I think one of the reasons I believe it's still doing quite well is I think because it's our own money, I think people find that quite exciting. Yeah. You know, if it was a bank's money or the BBC's money, it's not real. But I think when they sit and watch and they look at that and they say, my God, he's just blown 100 grand,
yeah,
or he's mad, or he's crazy. Yeah. And I think a lot of people engage with you on the show.
We produce all this in a room 10 foot by 10 foot.
Welcome to 5 News.
Hi.
Was that one of the worst pitches you've ever heard?
I must admit, the guy completely threw me. When he walked through the door with his pink hair and that shirt with the sort of patches under his arm, I thought, he is not selling food. And that's what he was doing. I think he wanted £100,000 to invest looking like that. I'm out.
First of all, James Caan, you're in big business dealings. How is the interest rate cut going to go down for you?
I think one of the biggest challenges I think businesses are facing is whilst the government are consistently cutting, but it's not getting through to business because the cost of borrowing for business hasn't really changed. In fact, for me, what I'm finding is the banks are actually increasing their margins. So where I was borrowing at 150 basis points, I'm now having to borrow nearly 300 to 500 basis points above the cost of the bank's lending. So, in effect, the cost of borrowing to me hasn't really changed. So the difference to business is, A, the rates haven't really moved, but more importantly, the banks aren't lending anyway.
I mean, first of all, your father was a big inspiration on your life, wasn't he, really?
Yeah, when I was growing up, my father ran his own business. I think right from an early age, I witnessed somebody creating something from nothing, you know, who had a lot of drive, a lot of passion, but very kind of high moral values in business. Yeah. And for me, he was just a great inspiration.
We turn to a man who knows a good investment when he sees it and when to run a square mile. Here's Dragon's Den Supremo James Caan with his Take of the Week.
I've spent my whole life working in the financial services industry. Who would ever have thought that organisations such as Lehman Brothers and AIG would be in a state of collapse? This is an unprecedented experience.
Well, joining us live from Mansion House in central London is the entrepreneur and Dragon Den and Sky News Money Panel member, James Caan. First of all, apologies for keeping you waiting in the cold, Mr. Caan. What interest rate decision are you expecting today, and what would you like to see?
I think I'm expecting the interest rates to come down by between 50 to 100 basis points. I think my wish would be to see the MPC to bring those rates down more to 1%. I think right now we need to focus on getting the economy back on track.
What am I doing here? It's evident to me that the credit crisis is not just affecting the British economy, but it's also affecting football clubs. For me, as a financial model, it's probably not something I would invest in. What I have learned today, football clubs are such an integral part of their local communities. To me, saving football clubs is just as important as saving the banks.
Here come the Hatters again.